Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Forgive me, I'm not in my great shape, but I will deliver. So, this channel is for health professionals and young people doing great for themselves in any field, in any part of the world. And I happen to be sitting down with a fellow Ghanaian who is also based in USA here. He's a medical technologist from Ghana. He's going to tell us about the program, what he studied, and how he's able to transfer that over to the USA to work in USA. My name is Priscilla Kuma. You all know I'm a registered nurse, and I'm the lead consultant for USRN Pathway Consult, where we help nurses, general nurses, midwives, and psychiatry nurses who want to take the NCLEX and work in USA. Head to our website, www.usrnpathwayconsult, and register, and we'll start your onboarding process. Hi, HiLary. Kofi, welcome to my channel.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you.
How are you?
I think I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. Not great, but I'm okay. So, please introduce yourself to my viewers.
Oh. I'm just HiLary or Kofi, a medical technologist. As far as this interview is concerned, I practiced a little bit in Ghana as a medical technologist at KNUST Hospital. And I studied medical laboratory science at the University of Ghana. And I relocated to the US around 2017, and I've been practicing medical laboratory science since then. Yes.
Wow, that's an intro. Okay, so let's take you back. Let's take you back a little bit. Tell me about your program. How long was the program? Is it a bachelor's program? Was it a 4-year program? And did you have to study science before you can qualify to do that program?
Well, yes, it was a 4 years Bachelor of Science program at the University of Ghana, and the course structure and the admission requirements keep changing. At least I was there a few months ago to talk to the students, and I realized things are very different, even the name of the department. At that time, you had to study general science, and I believe it's still going to be required, because whatever you do under the medical laboratory science basically needs your biology and chemistry. So I'm sure it will still be a requirement for you to have done general science back in high school. Yeah, it was a 4 years program. We were first admitted first year into biological sciences and biomedical science. So we all basically studied the same thing with the doctors, pharmacists, physiotherapists, anybody who wants to go into the health program. Then after the first year, you go for an interview. You actually apply to go to the College of Health Science, which is at Kolebu. So you go through an interview process, then you get picked, then you start your health education at the Kolebu campus of the University of Ghana. Yes.
So after the 4-year program, did you have to do like any license examination to be able to practice, or after the program you become a medical technologist by default?
Once again, things are different right now. Our time, as soon as you graduate, you do your 1-year national service. Just like any other program, but just that you will have to do it in an accredited hospital. And after the year, then you apply either to work for the Ghana Health Service, or you apply to any hospital that you want to work with. But today, I know there is Allied Health Professional Council that needs to certify you before you can practice. And I believe there is also a certification exam that they make the students write. So after your degree or whatever program that you do, then you have to write that certification exam in order to practice in Ghana. But our time, I think that was around the same time that the council has started, but we didn't write any exam. But I know for now, you have to pass that certification exam in order to even practice in Ghana. Yeah.
Okay. So I always confuse the terms: biomedical scientist, lab technician. What is actually the difference?
We have laboratory technician, we have laboratory technologist,
Okay.
and we have laboratory scientist. So the main difference is that for the technician, mostly they are diploma holders or certificate holders. And those who have studied the Bachelor of Science in Medical Laboratory Science, They are called the medical technologists or medical laboratory scientists or clinical laboratory scientists. For the biomedical science, I mean, there are courses called biomedical science back in the university, but they are very different from medical laboratory science. But in practice, especially here in the US, you can end up taking extra years in the lab to get the experience. Then you can sit for the certification exams to practice in the lab. But I know it's not the same in Ghana. I don't think we have a program called biomedical science in Ghana. It's mostly biomedical engineering. They deal with the medical devices. Yes. So, I mean, that is the main difference. But for medical technologists, medical laboratory scientists, and clinical laboratory scientists, it's the same thing, depending on where you practice, maybe the country or the hospital, whichever way they want to call the title. But it's the same, I mean, degree holders being called technologists or scientists.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying that. So basically, somebody watching this in Ghana or any part of the Africa, anybody who's schooled outside the US who has an interest of coming to work in the US, what do they have to do? You did that and you're able to work here with your education from Ghana. So what is the process? I know.
Coming to the US, all right, just as we have started in Ghana, you need to be certified to practice in any medical profession, also in Ghana and in the US. So to practice here as a medical technologist, you first have to get certified. And over here, there is one key body that's recognized for the certification. That's the American Society for Clinical Pathology, ASCP. And they have MLS exam, that's the medical laboratory scientist exam, and they have MLT exam, that's the medical laboratory technician exam, and they all have different requirements. So you first, depending on what you studied, whether you're a diploma holder or a degree holder, you go to their website, then you found the routes. Each one has its own requirements. Then you will know whether, I mean, you should have done a top-up or how do they call it, a number of years of internship after your diploma in order to qualify to write the exam. But if you did a 4-year degree, you automatically qualify to write the exam. So you write the exam. I mean, I believe in Ghana and other parts of Africa, I wrote my exam in Nigeria way back in probably 2015, 2016. I don't really remember. But now you can write it in Ghana, you can write it in so many other African countries. So wherever you are, you need to first find out whether there's an exam center in your country. And even if there isn't one there, you just have to find out the closest place that you can go and write. So after you write the exam, then you get certified or you get the certificate. Now you need to get an agency or a hospital that sponsors visas. The nature of the work visas is such that you cannot apply on your own. You need to be sponsored. And the sponsor will require that you are certified to be sure that, I mean, your education and your experience is at the same level as those who are practicing here. And that's the only way that they would want to sponsor you to come here. So when you apply to such agents, mostly it's the agencies that will, sponsor people. So you identify, and there are a lot of those agencies around. So you identify an agency, you submit your certificate to them, then they start the process for you. And recently I got to know most of the agencies even pay for everything concerning the visa from start to finish. So you even physically come here. So you apply to the agency and they tell you what else to do. Some will require you to write the English exam, either TOEFL or IELTS. Then you just have to register. So when you get everything together, then they will file for the visa for you. So when you get picked up, then you'll be notified to come for an interview. So, that is the main route available, either through an agency or you get a hospital that can sponsor you to come here and practice.
So the examination, I did a video about this before. There's a center in Ghana, which is good news. There's a center in, I think, Nigeria and is it Liberia as well? So there are centers around. So the examination, you just get up and register and write it, or you submit your document, your certificates to some company in the US, get credential evaluation before you get the go-ahead to write it.
Just as you said, it's similar to that of the nurses and the others. They would always want you to do the transcript evaluation. So you need to submit your transcript for it to be converted to what they call the US equivalent before you sit to write the exam. Yes.
So which company do you submit the documents to? Ours is
There are a lot of them, but what I recommend is WES. I don't remember. I think World Education Service. I'm not sure of, but yeah, it's WES. Yeah, I recommend it. I recommend that one because that agency is widely accepted even for school. So when you do that for work and you come here and you want to go to school, you don't need to redo that transcript evaluation. You can use the same one that they did for you to go to school. So I mean, just think ahead and just pick the agency that's widely accepted. And I would recommend WES.
Wow. So you get the approval from WES and that's it, or it goes to another body before you can take the exams?
So the main body that's supposed to approve you is the ASCP.
Okay.
Yes, but they would require you to, I mean,
use WES.
Yes. I mean, not just WES, they have, I mean, other agencies that you can use, but I am recommending, in case you want to go to school, when you come here, just use the WES people. But I mean, they are the main agency that's going to approve you to write the exam, but they will require you to do your transcript evaluation and bring it to them. So usually the evaluators will send a copy directly to ASCP before they will notify you that, yes, you can go ahead and write the exam. And one thing I need to let everybody watching know is that for ASCP, as soon as they approve you to write the exam, you have a limited time period to write the exam. So what I keep telling people is that it's not difficult to find out whether you qualify or not. It's not difficult at all. All the requirements are on their website. So when you visit the website, then you realize you pass, you qualify, don't just go ahead and apply. I will recommend that you rather start revising for the exam, because I mean, unlike somebody who just graduated and everything is fresh in their mind, I believe majority of people who are thinking of relocating, they left school a few years or more years back, so they will need more time to revise. So I advise that you start revising for the exam when you feel you are ready. Then you apply to them. So whenever they give you the time period for you to write the exam, you're already ready. Because if you get approved and you are not ready, it may take you several months, which may be more than the period acceptable. So it's always good that you go straight forward and prepare for the exam rather. That is my recommendation. Make sure, I mean, you study, you are good to go, then you apply. Then even if the application process is gonna take a month or so, that is extra time for you to continue revising whilst you wait, instead of just applying and they tell you you need to write it within, I mean, 90 days or 60 days, and you've not even started, you don't even know how long it's going to take you, then you're going to be in a rush. That is not a good thing. Yes.
Wow. The process is not so different from the nursing process. It's similar. When you started submitting your documents and all, do you know how long it took you to get the go-ahead to write? How many months or weeks or years?
I think the delay was mainly with the evaluators, the transcript evaluators. Okay. For ASCP, it was straight to the point. But for the evaluation, our system in Ghana probably is better now and maybe similar in some African countries. Just for a staff of the university to respond to a simple email from the evaluators can take forever. I mean, it can take forever. I had to personally drive to my school to talk to the secretary to get things done for me. If you sit at home, phone calls, emails, forget it. And that was the part that delayed, because they kept telling me, we've not received your transcript. We've not received your transcript from the school. We have sent them several emails. We have called them. I'm like, no, don't call them again. I'll go get it for you. That is, I don't know the situation now, but I don't think it has actually changed that much. Yes. So, yeah. For the ASCP, once everything is set, it doesn't take too long for them to, let you know whether you qualify or not. Like I said, it's easy for you to figure out whether you qualify or not. The requirement is clear. It's black and white on their website. You should have done a degree. You should have had this number of years of experience. If maybe you did a diploma, then you need more years of experience. If you did a degree, then you don't need number of, that is, everything is clear. So when you meet the requirement, they will give you the response as soon as possible. The main delay, like I said, was the transcript, because their acceptance is based on what you submit to them. So if they don't have it, there's no way they can make a decision.
So the examination, is it paper-based? Is it computer-based? And how fast do you find out whether you've passed or not? Is it the same day?
It's always interesting trying to remember what I went through when I was writing for preparing for the exam. So the exam is computer based, and I believe it's the same right now.
Yeah.
And it's 100% multiple choice.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe this is still the same. It is computer adaptive test, they call it, if I'm using the right term, meaning that the difficulty level of the next question is based on the previous question you answered. It's not like there is a set of 100 questions that you are answering that you score like 60, so you get 60%. No, it doesn't work like that.
That's how the nursing exam is.
Exactly. Somebody can score 60 and fail, and another person can score 50 and pass, depending on the difficulty level of the answer that the person was able to get correct.
Yeah.
But what I learned is that when you write in the exam, and it was really true when I was writing, is that when you reach the pass mark,
mm-hmm.
all the follow-up questions become very easy because you do not need like big points. I think every question is weighted, whether it's +2 or +4. So once you've already reached the mark, there's no need for them to bombard you with difficult questions. Then everything becomes easy. Then it gives you that feeling that, oh, I might have passed, because now everything is becoming easier and easier. But when you are failing, they keep giving you difficult questions, so you get opportunity to pass. So it's mainly online. I mean, totally MCQs. Some of them is a situation that you analyze. Some of them is just simple, straightforward question and answers. And as soon as you click finish, they will tell you whether you've passed or failed. Yes.
I see. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So after you passed, what was the next? You had to look for employers or sponsors, as you call them.
So before I even went for the exam, just as you are doing right now, I watched videos. I tried to find out everything. I mean, about what I'm doing from start to finish. So I knew what was required, what I'm supposed to do next. So I had already searched for the agency, emailed them, let them know, hey, I'm interested in migrating to the US. What are the requirements? Then they say, oh, we want to make sure that your education or experience is the same as those in the US. So you need to write this exam. When you are done, just let us know. And that was it. So before I even wrote the exam, I had already contacted the agency, and they were just waiting for the outcome of the result. And I know today, most of the agencies even pay for the exam, but that's when you pass the exam. They are not going to spend money for you to go and fail. So they will allow you to sponsor your own exam, you pay for it, but when you pass and you let them know you have passed, they'll refund that money to you. So it's always good that you also research on what agency. I mean, you just don't jump into something. You need to find out from start to finish. Like I said, watching her this interview and watching other interviews and reading online to know the whole process. Also learning about people's experience, so you know what is supposed to happen after A, what is supposed to happen after B. So everything will be smooth for you, not just writing the exam and now wondering, I mean, what happens next.
So did you have to take an English proficiency test like IELTS, OET to be able to qualify?
For the ASCP exam itself, they did not require the English test. It's after you're done with the ASCP exam, the agency required that you get something they call visa screen certificate. So it's a visa screen certificate that requires your ASCP certificate plus English proficiency. And to date, I don't even know why they make us write that English proficiency, because from KG to the universities, we do everything in English.
Yeah.
But whatever, that's another thing to talk about. Yes. So it is the visa screen that they require, either the IELTS or the TOEFL. But for the ASCP exam itself, it is not required. Yes.
Okay.
To the best of my knowledge.
It's the same for the nurses too.
Yeah.
So for the ASCPI, is that like ASCP? The I is international, right?
Yes. And so anybody who schooled in the US and wrote the exam in the US, that will be ASCP. And if anybody outside the US writes the exam, then you will have the I attached to it. But the content and everything is the same. It's not like because it's international, they have international version of the books or the exam. No, it's the same thing. Just to show that your education was outside the US. That is it.
Is
Yes.
there any like classes people are taking, like classes people sign up to take to prepare for this, or you don't know of any?
It's interesting. I mentor a lot of students, and I'm learning and learning new things as we go along. I learned now there are serious classes going on. In Ghana, I know for sure. I don't know about, any African country, but wherever you're watching from, you have to find out because now people are really taking it serious. I know UHAS, the Allied Health School in Volta region, has that. It may not be officially by the school, but I know students in that university who are taking that classes, and it's being organized on that campus. But I don't know whether it's by the university or by private individuals. And I know it happens at KNUST, and I know it happens at the University of Ghana. Yes, and there are a lot of people who are preparing for the exam. A whole lot of people.
The news is going around. Many people are interested in relocating. The same for nurses. We have an NCLEX academy. People come with you, tell them I'm my consult and do all the stuff. So after passing, you say you find a sponsor and then they file for, is it
Yes.
an EB3 visa? What category of visa do you get? And are you under contract? Are you going to get a green card? What kind of visa is it?
So for the visa, it's mainly H1B visa, which is more like a lottery system, which unfortunately many people don't like it because you can't tell how long it's going to take for you to be picked. But if you don't try, that means your probability or chance is zero. So you just go through that channel. Beyond that, I know some hospitals also file direct green card for you, but that is not a common thing. Mostly the agencies will just do the H1B visa for you. Yes.
Okay. And the H1B, does it have a duration and you have to keep renewing it? Or what are the terms of that visa? Can you bring your spouse and your children?
That would be difficult to answer because they keep changing the requirements. What I know is that it will be valid for at least 5 years, that you can renew or even now apply for the green card after the visa, after you've spent, that number of years over here. But if you get a direct green card filed for you by the sponsoring hospital or the agents that's sponsoring you, then you come with your whole family.
So let's talk about work. You arrived and you found a job. What are the job prospects? Where can somebody work? The hospital or the labs or pharmaceutical companies? Or where are the places you can find jobs for someone who studied your program?
For the job, there are so many places you can find it. But because you are now coming into the country fresh, or an agency is filing for you, they need to indicate what professional category you belong to, and also indicate that that's the professional category you come into work. So I always recommend that whatever you were doing in Ghana that qualify you, or whichever country you are, that qualified you to get the sponsorship to come here, you have to start from that field because it's going to be easier for you rather than trying to branch into any field. So if you're already in the lab, you come in, you go into the lab, get used to the system. Changing a country is a whole thing altogether beyond the
Tell me
professional
about
change.
it.
It's, you can do billions of videos about it. The experience is different, So you first need to get in there, make it easier for yourself by just practicing whatever brought you in here. Then from that, you can get into so many, other opportunities. And of course, if a hospital is sponsoring you, they are sponsoring you to come to the lab as a medical technologist. They are not bringing you in here with the expectation that you jump into other department. No, they have a need, and there are so many vacancies here and there, no matter the state. So they are interested in filling their vacancy. That's why they are bringing you here. If it's an agency, they most likely have a contract with different hospitals. So you may be a staff of the agency, but they are sending you out to work in different hospitals, and you are going to fill a need. So afterwards, you'll be under contract. Before I forget your question, yes, you'll be under contract, number one, before they will even pay any dollar about you. Even before they pay for your exam, you need to be under contract. Mostly it's a 3-year renewable contract. So they let you even sign the contract before you come here. So after signing, that's when they will now pay for everything. Remind you, the visa processing is not free. When they file for you, it's not free. They pay for everything associated with it. But the good news is that when you come here, you are not expected to pay them back because they have their own contract with the hospitals. They have their own way of making money, not from your salary, not trying to get a percentage from what you are paid. No, they have their own contract. So, I mean, that is the good thing about it. For the job opportunities, there are a lot. But what I always advise people is that when you come in, just be focused and focus on whatever that you were doing in Ghana that brought you here. At least for the first 1 year, get used to the system. And the contracts are in such a way that, I mean, contracts can be broken. It's not like you are imprisoned. No. After a year or after a few months, and you feel like, no, this is not what I want to do, or this new environment doesn't work for me in practicing the same job, they will negotiate with you. Either you have to pay them a lump sum of money, or, I mean, whatever that needs to be done. You are never in prison. There's always a clause in a contract that if you break it, this is what's going to happen. Nobody's going to imprison you or send you back. You just have to go by the terms and conditions in the contract. You are never in prison. Yes.
Wow. So let's talk about your work hours. How many hours and how is the shift system like? How many hours do you do in a week and how the shift system?
Here in the US, I mean, when I used to practice lab, I'm saying that because I stopped about 2 years ago and I do something else that, I mean, may not be the interest of this interview. So the working hours is mostly 40 hours a week.
Okay.
So the common one are 3 shifts. They have the day shift, the evening, and the night shift. The day shift is mostly 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Then the evening continues to 11:30 p.m., I believe. Then the night shift continues from there to 7:30 a.m. the next day. There may be slight variations depending on which hospital you work. Some hospitals also have 12-hour shifts. So you may do 3 12 hours, or some of them have 4 10-hour shifts. It depends on which hospital you work. But the common one is the 8-hour shift that you do 40 hours a week, and that will be for your regular pay. And any other hour that goes beyond the 40, that will be overtime. Then you are paid an hour and a half. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So before somebody decides to relocate, they want to know what is in it for them. What can I get? So they're going to ask, how much am I going to be paid? I know it varies based on states, your location, and a whole lot. So the start off point, when you started back in the day, I know it's been over 6 years now. Do you know what range did they start you off per hour? I mean,
back in 2017, how much was that? Do I even remember? I think it was around 30 an hour.
That's good.
And I mean, like you rightly said, it's based on your previous experience, and also the states. And even in the same state, some hospitals pay better than others. The same work, but they may be paying, better than you. Yes, I think it was around that when I started. Yeah. But I mean, where are you running away from?
Yeah.
You are not paid by the hour. There's nothing like overtime. So what's in it for you is a better life for you and your family. That's what I always tell people. It's not just about money. It's better life, better opportunities for you. So even if they start you off at $10 an hour, it's giving you a platform for you to launch yourself. It's about you taking advantage, and it's generally better than wherever you're coming from.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much for taking the time out to explain all this to myself and my viewers. Sorry. If you have any word of advice, anything you want to tell those who might want to embark on this journey and they are skeptical and they are afraid and they don't know where to start from, any advice at all that you think would help them?
Well, these days, you hear a lot of people with interest in coming to the US, in going to the UK, in going to Canada. All that I would say is that it's not that easy and it's not that straightforward. You have to understand that it's a good thing for you to decide, but once again, it's not for everybody. It's good to come abroad, but it's not for everybody. It's not that straightforward. It's not that easy. You're not just coming to walk around and somebody will be paying you. It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. I mean,
Yeah.
just that you get rewarded for all the effort. That is the good thing. You get direct reward for all the effort. So it's good that you want to do it. Just have patience, do research, talk to a lot of people. So you make sure that, I mean, you prepare yourself very well. And if you are young and not married yet, I may have to tell you to pursue this diligently without getting yourself involved in any marital stuff. It may be difficult to understand, but I'm speaking from, if I say experience, that means it's about me. No, I'm speaking from people I know that they are unable to take advantage of some opportunities because they are married now and they have kids. I mean, if you want to go this path, just take a year. Even if you have marriage plans in your head, I will recommend that you pursue this diligently. Let that wait. When you get the opportunity, you can go ahead and still do your marriage and the person will join you. But it becomes more difficult when you have kids. Like you have family and you have kids back in Ghana. I know so many colleagues who have given birth, who now have so many kids, and they are married, they want to come, and it's more difficult for them to even prepare. So if you are young, you just graduated, or you just finished your service and you are interested in this, pursue it with all your heart and let the marital stuff wait. All right? That is just, I mean, by the way, it's good for you to come, and like I said, it's not for everybody, but make sure you have the right focus. You are ready to, I mean, sit down and research and take advantage of a lot of opportunities that are available. It's good to come. There's no regret. I've never regretted ever coming. I mean, I wasn't doing bad back in Ghana, but I'm doing beyond I could have imagined when I moved here. So I would surely recommend that you come if you want to, but there's no rush. You don't have to stop doing whatever you're doing now. And one thing before I forget, though your professional, your educational background can get you here, also be mindful of connections, connecting and networking with people, especially if you're listening to me, you're in your final year, and hopefully after school you want to pursue this journey. Treat your friends carefully. I mean, build connections instead of burning people here and there. It will amaze you what one single friend can do for you in this journey. You may want to pursue this on your own and all that, but I mean, start building connections. When you are in the hospital, you meet, I mean, we are lucky. When we are in the hospital, we meet people from all walks of life. I mean, I had connection in everywhere, banks, wherever. Hold on to those connections. It's very key to your success. Even when you come here, you will see how valuable networking and connection is. So also build on that whilst you try to write the exam and come here. Yes, I think I'm speaking too much. I mean, that's the few things I can say for now. And you see how she's smiling and nodding. That is true life experience.
True life
I'm
experience.
sharing with you.
Yes.
Yes.
True life experience. Nobody comes to America and regrets. It's a propelling ground that you can explore.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want to do. So far as you're on the ground, entering the system is what matters most. You can enter here and branch and do something different.
But
You
there are people who come here and fail anyway. That's why I said it's not for everybody. So have your focus right before you make that decision.
Yeah.
Yes.
Surround yourself with like-minded people. Some people will discourage you. Some people meant to leave the box. You have to think and get out of the box. So thank you very much, HiLary, for your time. For my nurses watching, if you haven't registered to attend my Career Expo, USA Nursing Career Expo and Recruitment Drive, happening live in Accra, Ghana, 14th April by USRN Pathway Consult at the GRNMA, Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Council head office at Shiashi. That is where the program is happening. It's a Friday. It's a free program. Let me stress that it's very free. It's from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. come interact. If you're already with an agency, if you're in final year, second year nursing school, if you have interest in working in US, if you have diploma or bachelor's, if you have mental health education, midwifery or general nursing, come to this career expo. Come and learn about how to work in USA. It's totally free. Head to our Facebook page, USRN Pathway Consult, and register. There's a Google link. Click on it and register. Also, I will leave that link under this video. Register because it's happening in a few days, and I cannot wait to see you guys. I miss home. I miss everybody. I miss the culture. Fellow nurses, come and let's interact. Thank you very much, HiLary. I see you smiling over there. Yes, it's all about business and how to make connections. So that is exactly what we are doing at UPC. Yes, there are so many lack of information and misconception out there, and we have been privileged to have this life. We have this information. We can't just sit on it. We need to just give back to society, share with them freely, and a few people who are interested, their lives will change if they embark on this journey. We can tell you, but we can't force you to do it. But our job is to tell you for free. So yeah, thank you very much. And then I can't wait to have you back on the channel. I know you're camera shy, but I'll definitely bring you back again. Thank you.
No, I'm not camera shy. No.
You are not? Okay, then that's the more reason why I'm bringing you back.
No.